What's up, YouTube? It's NG, the Neon X, and I'm back. Today, I'm into the Surface Duo. This has pretty much been a week of Surface Duo for me. Well, not just a week this week, but last week too. Once the Duo came into some stores, I was able to get hands on the demo units. I found out I was unable to stop trying to figure how this Duo works and who this Duo is for. I constantly went to the stores. If you've subscribed to my channel in the recent days, I thank you. I know a lot of that came from curiosity about the Surface Duo, and I'm happy I was able to provide some answers to that curious nature that you guys had. But this video right here is more to address some of the uncertain feedback I got towards the device. Not just from those who watched my videos and posted comments, but also from a lot of the reviews that came out recently. The embargo was up yesterday, and a lot of them, like I had predicted, really tore into the Surface Duo. I think, was it not Engadget, CNET, I think it was. I don't remember the guy, but one of them just said it straight, and I applaud his honesty. He does not know who this device is for. And he really got on the device, the software, the bugs, and such and such and such. Now, across the board, every reviewer that I saw, myself included, though I don't consider myself a tech tuber per se, all love the hardware and where Microsoft seems to be going with this new segment of mobile device they're trying to create. But when it came to how the device was actually used and what it would be used to do is where the discrepancies began to come in. Some loved it, few liked it, and that many more just straight, almost, I won't say hated, but were very upset, not happy with it at all. So I just wanted to voice my opinion on who exactly I think the Duo is for, what the Duo is made to do. So if you do happen to come across this, maybe I'll help you understand the Duo before you go out and have expectations for the device that it can't quite live up to because your expectations aren't particularly valid. Now, first things first, the hardware of the device. Yes, I use it, I've touched it, I've opened it, I pulled it. It is a very well-made device. It's thin, it's glass all around. There's little buttons at the side. There's touch, fingerprint touchscreen, such and such. But for all those little features it has, it's also missing many as well. People would say, oh, there's no NFC, there's no 5G, it has a small battery, it's not waterproof. I mean, all of these things have become common in most phones, most everyday phones, and that's fine. It doesn't have it, but you go into the purchase of such a device knowing this. You don't purchase the device knowing it is lacking all of these features you may want, and then get on it or get upset with it because it doesn't have them. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Surface Duo is not a phone. Now, many have said, well, the Duo is a phone. It's not a tablet. You can't use a tablet as your main phone device. And my argument to them was very simple. I have an iPad. It's an LTE-enabled iPad with a third-party dialer, my iPad actually can be a phone. I have gone out with my iPad and used it as my main communication device for that day. But that doesn't make the iPad a phone. That makes the iPad a tablet with phone capability. And that's what the Surface Duo is. It is a folding mobile device, a companion device that can, if required, make phone calls and send text. The same thing goes for the camera. It doesn't have the best cameras in the business. For $1,000, you can get a lot better photography from a phone. Hell, for less than that, for $400, buy a Pixel 3a or a Pixel 4a, whatever the case might be, and you will get a much better camera solution. But the Duo is not about the camera. The Duo is about, can you do conference calls? Yes. Can you do a selfie shot if you want to? Sure. Is there a way to use the camera on the Duo to take pictures in a pinch? Yes, it is. Would you want to if you have something better? Probably not. But you can, and that's the point. But for all intents and purpose, it's not a phone. It's a portable, folding, mobile companion device. That's how I have defined it since I first saw the reveal of it. If you take the time to watch any of the promotional videos for the Surface Duo, never do they ever directly call it a phone. Every time they use the device, it is to help the primary device. It is to connect to the computer so they have access to their phone apps and their calls and their texts while working on the device. It is to bridge that gap between work and wherever you're going after work. When you know, hey, I can get some work done during that commute, that's what the Surface Duo is for. Yes, it can make those phone calls. Yes, you could try to use it as your primary mobile phone, but many, even Microsoft, would not recommend you do that. It is easier to view it as a secondary device, maybe even a third device, because for all intent and purpose, the Surface is a mini Surface. It has its laptop mode. It has its tabletop mode, or its tablet mode. It has all of these postures, as Microsoft calls it, which leads you to believe, you know what? This device is not meant to be specifically used as a mobile phone. The Duo is more of the device you have in one pocket, your jacket pocket, or your bag, while your main device, let's say, in most cases, at least here in America, your Apple or your Samsung device is in your other. Your primary device, the one that takes the great pictures, the one that can do iMessage and FaceTime, the one that is waterproof, the one that has the night shots. That device that everyone is trying to compare the Surface Duo to, is the primary device. That is the device you use to do all the social things, the everyday things. Oh, you want to make payments, you use that main device. Because NFC. Oh, you want to quick charge, you use that main device because it probably has quick charge and wireless charging, because it's the device you are supposed to use the most. The Surface Duo is the device in the other pocket, the device that you only pull out when you have a actual purpose to pull it out. It's not the device to check your Facebook and your Instagram feeds just because. You have to have a purpose to pull it out and actually open that device. And the purpose is supposed to be, if used how Microsoft intended to get work done. You open the device, and of course all of the Microsoft, their entire suite of apps, can be used on both screens. They, what's the word? I guess they are optimized to fit both screens accordingly. Let's say you have your Outlook open. You'll have your list of emails on one side, and then on the other you'll have the expanded email itself. When you're ready to respond to said email, a keyword will pop up on the side that has the email open, while you can still flip through your other emails on one side. If you have, let's say, PowerPoint or any of them, both screens will have two different sets of information for you to get more in at once, to try to make you more efficient at what you're doing. You don't have to flip-flop back and forth to try to get that same information. It's spread out evenly for you to make your job that much easier. The same way each screen can open a completely separate app for you to get more done. Whether you have pictures of something you're working on here and the video chat here, or the email here, and you can drag and drop from the internet to whatever email client you may be using. It's not so much, oh, find the picture, hold the picture, save the picture, then go back to the email, press add picture, find that particular picture in your whole slew of pictures, and attach. All those steps are just simply gone because you can just hold, drag, and drop. Two screens make it easier for you to get work done. And that's what Microsoft hopes you use the Surface Duo for. It's not the, oh, this is the sole phone I'm going to use for the remainder of the year. Could it be? Yes, but you will be lacking in a lot of the common features more popular phones have. But there's a reason for that. The Surface Duo wasn't meant to do those things on an everyday basis. They kept it light, they kept it small, they kept it thin. They gave it what it needed to work. And when you hold it, it resembles a notepad. With a notepad, you only pull it out when you have to take a note. It's not just pulled out to flip through for no particular reason to pass the time away. And if you view the Duo like that, and you set your expectations accordingly to the strengths of the Duo, what it lacks will not annoy you nearly as much, because in all honesty, you realize you don't need it on that device. And that is where the Surface Duo sits, a companion device to your primary device, to your main device, a bridge device. Work, you have your main computer. From work to home, or wherever you may be going, you can continue that work on the portable Surface Duo. Yes, many have their laptops and various tablets and all of that, but none of them can fold close into the form factor that the Duo folds into. And the chipset in the Duo, though it's last year's chipset, is more than powerful enough to do most of the work anyone who gets a Duo would need to do on the go. My Galaxy Fold has the exact same chipset, and this phone I have put through its paces, and till this day, this phone keeps up with some of my newer devices. Yes, 855. It's only 10 to 20% slower than the 865. It's not so much of a difference that the Duo lags behind in anything. If benchmarks are your thing, I've seen some of the benchmarks that people have run, the Duo actually runs better than other phones with the same chipset. And it completely destroys the mid-range phones that people are trying to say the Duo is. So it's about perspective. If you buy the Duo to replace your primary device without understanding exactly what the Duo is and who it's for and what you get, you will be disappointed in the Duo. You will shout to the heavens and scream down to the hells how terrible this phone is, and yada yada yada. But if you have your main device and you just want something else, You might not want the iPad or the Galaxy Tab S7 or the Huawei Pad or any other tablets out there. You may have your laptop that you get that work done, but you want that middle ground. A familiar device. It runs your Android. It has a laptop-like form when you need it to, and it can connect to your PC wirelessly, so you don't miss anything. That is the Duo. And if there are some that would say, oh, well, my phone number this, my phone number that, there are apps that can forward your call and your text from one phone to the other, so you won't have to miss anything. Because the Duo does have its own phone number. Some people don't want to deal with having multiple numbers, and that's fine. Or the Duo could be your business line. There's so many ways to go about using this device. It's not made to replace your primary device. It's made to accompany your primary device and be used when you can't actually get to the primary device at that time, or you don't need to get to the primary device at that time. That's the use case for the Duo. The Duo is for that person that already has their primary and needs a reliable secondary. They need the phone that can take the notes, that can connect to all of Microsoft's suites and work properly with them. If you're in the Microsoft ecosystem, this phone will work very well for you. It's not the phone for the photography buff or the spec nerd. It is not for that person at all. It's for the person that understands this device is not a primary device. It's an expensive, that is true. It's an expensive secondary device that will make my life, my work life, my workflow easier. Well, so they claim. If you can learn to balance those dual screens and create your app pairs so that you don't have to look for certain apps when you're going, you press the pair, it pops up, and you're ready to go. Time saved, efficient. That's the purpose. That's why it's there. So, I just wanted to share that. My Duo is on its way. Even I had concerns about whether I should use the Duo. Not even use it, whether I should purchase the Duo. Because I've used it extensively. I've gone to Best Buy. I've done my thing. Check out some of those videos if you haven't. But even though I've used it as much as I haven't used it at home to try to incorporate it into my workflow. I see how it can work. But I have other devices, like the one taking this video right now, my LG V60, that pretty much do the exact same thing as the Duo, and then some. This device, my LG V60, to me is a more complete device. It is a primary. But if you don't have an LG V60 that can do all of those things, something like the Duo would be a perfect addition to what you have. So when mine comes, I will completely dive in. I will see how it fits what I do, if indeed it is something I can use along with my V60, because my V60 right now is my primary, but it's a no compromise primary, so it might be kind of hard for the Duo to actually surprise me, but I truly hope it does. And yes, I will continue this conversation and show you and let you guys know how exactly the Duo works, performs, and how it should be used in my personal opinion. Well, with that said, my name is NG, the Neon X, and the Microsoft Surface Duo. This is what I'm into.